How are you guys? I hope you have been doing well. Welcome back to the weekly review on trades series, right? So it has been some time since I have posted this series, right, where we actually review all the possible setups, right, that they've played within a certain week, or revealing the trades that we have taken within a certain week, right? So I ended posting this series, I think maybe around October 2024, right? And we are actually in 2025 now, right? We are in January, and I'm resuming those weekly review on trades series, right? So that you can definitely see how we are actually trading on this side, how we are actually hitting the take profits, and also how we are also hitting the stop losses, right? But since we have started this year, we haven't hit any stop losses yet. We have actually been winning back to back, and we have actually hit our single break even, right, within this year. So without wasting much of your time, guys, this is my YouTube channel, right? Prosper Falcon Capital, right? So let's make sure when we are watching this video, we have subscribed, right? Let's also make sure that we like these videos so that I can also keep you updated, posting all the content, right, that can be able to help you guys to also develop your trading skills, right? Let's also make sure we comment with our questions um, within the comment section, or our encouragements within the comment section, right? So thank you guys, thank you so much. So what I'm doing also now is I'm also posting all the live stream trades that we are having within the Discord uh, community here on YouTube. So if we trade live, right, I'm recording those live sessions, and then I'm just gonna take the snippets of um, those videos, right? I'm just gonna take snippets from that live session and then make it into something that is short and then post it here on YouTube. So let's just make sure we go watch those snippets, right? So that you guys can also be encouraged to join us uh, into our Discord server there, where we are actually having live streams almost every single day. So what I'm doing with my community now, we trade live, whatever we do, right, within the community, I'm there guiding them. I'm there guiding them. We start the live exactly at 2 o'clock South African time, right? 2 o'clock South African time. So we're actually trading gold, US 30, US 100, right? So if you're interested in joining us, make sure to check the link within the description of these videos, right? So let's just go to the Discord. Let's just go to the Discord um, server, right? So this is our Discord server, Prosper Falcon Capital, right? This is our Discord server. So if you can join this server, you definitely see that when you follow the link, it's definitely going to bring you within the welcome server, right? Within the welcome server, where you also read the instruction, the rules, right, that we adhere to within this server, right? And we also have a contact us server. Let's say you need to have a free 30-minute call with me, and maybe you have some questions that you need to ask pertaining this Discord um, community, right? Or anything that you need to actually ask concerning about our services and stuff. This is where you can come and um, log in a 30-minute meeting with me, right? And then you can also see some other details here. If you want to contact administration, or if you want to contact me, there are actually options whereby you just click. If you want to contact me, you can just click at Prosper Falcon Capital, right? And then it's directed to my DM. If you want to contact the administration, you can just click here and then contact the administration, right? And this is my WhatsApp number. Maybe you want to get in touch with me on WhatsApp. This is the number that you can use here, right, on WhatsApp. This is the number that you can even also use on calls, right? If it's international, just make sure you include the +27 here, right? And we also have a free educational server for those who are definitely going to join this community, right? This Discord server, right? You are definitely going to see where we are going to be posting free basic knowledge, right? If you want to start learning, or if you want to start um, practicing and understanding how this industry works, this is where you are going to be seeing some informations. If you have some questions, you can just create a post and then I'll be responding, and also other um, people within the administration, they'll be responding to your questions, right? Will be responding to your questions. And this is where you're also going to be learning. For those who are going to be joining, they're also going to be learning from whatever people are asking here, right? And then there's also some stuff there for beginners. If you want to um, understand some few things, you can just get into these two posts that were being posted here, right? And we also have empowerment session server, right, where I'll be posting some different things and stuff. You are also allowed to post things here, right? Let's say you are exercising and stuff, you are at the gym, you can also post your snippets, right? Your videos or pictures that you're at the gym, so that you can encourage other community members to also stick to their health goals and stuff, right? If you're doing cardio exercises, you can just post like what I was doing here, right? These are the exercises that I do almost every day in the morning, right? And also the fasting and the praying and reading of the word and stuff. This is where I also post encouragement sermons, right? Encouraging you guys to stick, right, to prayer, to stick to fasting and reading the word, right? So it's very important for us to encourage each other to build our lives, right, in a unique way, right? So this is where we are going to be empowering each other. We share as a community, right? Whatever that you're doing at that time. If you're reading a book, you can just share some chapters, you can share some points, some nuggets from whatever that you're reading from, right? And then we also have a server where uh, we actually direct people to go and look at daily fundamentals, right? So we are also going to be posting weekly economic calendar, right? For news, and we are definitely also going to be launching a live APN for Bloomberg here, so you can also be able to be seeing whatever that is happening within the financial market, right? This is where we also see live news, right? And this server, this is where we have trade history, right? Whatever that we do within the allied traders community server, we are posting all the trades that we take whenever we are live trading, right? Within this server, and testimonials are going to be within this server, where people, they are going to be saying whatever that they need to say, right, pertaining Prosper Falcon Capital, right? We have some rules here. You can just go read the rules, right, pertaining this server, Prosper Falcon Capital. We also have um, statements on refunds. You can go through, read these statements, right? And we are also going to be posting carriers here, because we are going to be recruiting as time goes on, right? If you want to register your account with a certain broker, this is where we have put the brokers that we have been using, right, for quite some time. We didn't have problems with these brokers, so they are actually working well with us. So if you want to register your account, this is where you can go and actually register your account, right? And we also have prop firms, right? the prop firms that we are also recommending, right? These are the prop firms that you can even go and work with because they don't have problem with paying their clients, right? And this is our server, our premium or elite traders community, right? This is where you see I'll be posting announcements, right, for the elite traders community, right? The pro firm challenges, the certificates, right, for all the students that are enrolling under us after you've finished your mentorship, your courses, right? They are going to be getting these certificates and stuff. And for all those who have learned our strategy, right, they are definitely going to be enrolled under what we call Falcon Capital, right? They are going to be enrolled under what we call a Falcon Capital, where we are going to be funding all those community members, right, to trade our capital, right? So you go through under challenges, and when you pass those challenges, we definitely fund you with our capital so that you can be trading with our capital, making some profits, right? We pay you 80%, we take 20%, right, from the profits that you actually make, right? So, and this is where we are going to be posting all the certificates for those people who are actually going to be trading our funding, right? And we have a server for synthetics where we are going to be sending setups for synthetics, right? For synthetics, where for those who are going to register under the broker derive, right? We are going to be posting setups for synthetics here, and we are going to be posting setups for currencies, indices, metals, right, within this server, right? So this is what we'll be doing daily, posting setups, updating each other, discussing within these servers while we are live, right? And then we have a server where we summarized our strategy, right? So this is where you are also going to be going there, learning about how we look at the markets and so on. YouTube content, this is where we are going to be posting our YouTube content, right? So that those people within the Elite Traders group, right? Once we upload something on YouTube, we post it in here, right? And then they can go there, watch these videos and recap, right, on whatever that we'll be doing, right? And then flashcards, we are supposed to be posting flashcards in here, but since we have that trade history tab up there, that's where we are going to be posting trades. So this is definitely going to be nullified. This is definitely going to be nullified, right? So this is our server, educational quotes, questions and answers. They're going to be posted there. And we have our live trading stream, both where we stream live almost every day, right? So going back to our trades, right? Within this year, right? Posting, we have been analyzing, right, and posting these setups, and we've been trading with the community, right? So you can definitely see that from the 60th, right, from the 60th, we actually had a win on US 30. We actually hit our take profit, and on Monday again, on the 60th of January, we also had another setup on gold that actually hit take profit again, and all these setups are being shared within the Elite Traders community, right? And the results are being posted here. And we are even trading live with the Elite Traders community, right? And on Tuesday, we also had another US 100 setup shared within the community, and it actually played as expected. It also hit take profit, right? And we had another setup again that same very day on Tuesday, the 7th of January on gold, and it actually it hit our take profit, right? And we also had another 30 setup, right, on Tuesday on US 30, and it actually hit our take profit again, right? So we had 3 setups on Tuesday, right? And on Wednesday, we also had 2 setups, um, which is gold and US 30. We actually hit our take profit on gold. And then on US 30, the movement actually didn't fill up as expected, but we booked 90% of our positions exactly as reflected on this screen, sorry, on this flashcard, right? So we booked 90% of our trades and then we moved to break even, right? So this was actually a win because this was our first take profit and we're looking at taking a second take profit and overall take profit at this level, right? And then on Thursday, right, which is actually yesterday, we actually had this setup, right, on gold, which was actually 1:3, and we actually moved as far as 1:1.8 risk to reward ratio on this move, right? And we moved to break even. So we're supposed to book partials on 1:2, right? But I had to attend this other workshop, right? So it had to come back and hit break even. So this was a break even. I considered this as a break even, right? So these are the setups that we actually had on what? Had on these assets within this week, right? From 6th of January to the 8th of January, right? Sorry, 9th of January, right? So I'm just gonna go to the trading view. I'm just gonna go to the trading view and then we are just gonna review all those trades that we actually had within this week, right? So I'm just gonna go on the daily time frame, right? Just gonna go on the daily time frame. So this is what we do whenever we are analyzing the markets. We do what we call a top-down analysis, right? We do what we call a top-down analysis. I have to go on the higher time frames and review whatever that is happening on the higher time frames. Then we move to medium time frames and then lower time frames for our entries. So here's the thing: higher time frames, we look at the directional bias. Medium time frame, we look at the structure build up, and then on the lower time frame, we actually look at the entry possibilities, right? The entries. So right. Sorry for that, right? So looking at US 100, right? The reason why I was actually looking for sales, right, on this asset, it's because this market, it has been moving in a sequence where we can actually see that this market is actually bearish looking at these structures, right? So this is what I had to look at. If I can put my horizontal zone there, right, my zone here, I can definitely see that this market did break above this previous high, right? And then it came and lodged another higher high here, right? And then when the market reversed, it rejected around this zone again, right? It respected this zone, but it had to come down here for the demand structure, right? And then it actually bought, right? So when it bought, right, we can actually see that there was a reaction or rejection around this level, right? This was a zone respected here, and then this market sold to the downside, right? It sold again to the downside, came back for a demand on a medium time frame here, right? And then this market started buying, right? So I was actually paying attention to this to this supply structure, sorry, here, right? So I was expecting to also see a reaction since we're creating lower highs, right? So I was expecting a lower high to be created here and then the market sells to the downside. So these are the things that I was actually paying attention to, right? So if you are to go on 4-hour time frame, this is what we are actually seeing on 4-hour time frame, right? So on 4-hour time frame, instead of me marking instead of me focusing with this supply that we have marked on the daily time frame, right? I had to look at this structure. We can definitely see that inefficiency here was filled and then the market started selling, right? And we had this inefficiency here. So this was the main focus supply structure that I was actually looking at, right? So I wanted the market to come and react around the sell zone, right? So that's why I was looking at selling at this level, right? So going on 1-hour time frame, this is what we actually see on 1-hour time frame, right? So I had to mark a buy zone from this point. Why did I mark this as a buy zone, right? Since we've been buying from this point, we did break above these highs, right? and then the market consolidated for some time here, right? It consolidated for some hours here, and then market started buying, right? And I can definitely, I definitely observed that this was a valid inefficiency created on this structure, because since this market has been moving, it actually created a huge inefficiency. So I was expecting that if this market was to come back from this level, it could have triggered some buy limits within this buy zone, right? And continue buying, right? If it doesn't do that, I was expecting it to come for this supply structure here, then I can sell from this zone, right? So this is why I was focused on selling from this point, and I shared with the community that we are expecting, with the Discord community, that we are expecting buys from this zone, or we are expecting sales from this zone, right? And we had to go to 15 minutes time frame, right, for us to get an entry, right? So this was the intention, right? So the market actually didn't come, this asset didn't come for our buy zone, right? But it's just uh sold from this level, right? And then it didn't manage to come to this buy zone. So we're actually waiting for it to come for that sell zone, right? So when it came for this sell zone, instead of us getting an imminent entry at this point, I wanted to see at least this market getting exhausted, right? So this is what happened, right? So the market pushed to the upside, and I observed that there was a reaction on this market, um, a weak, right? A weak impulse. Then we actually got our entry exactly at this candle, when this candle was reversing, right? And then this market just pushed a little bit to the upside. We went into a drawdown for about 45 minutes, right? And then the market started selling, coming back to this level, right? So we could have hold these sales, right, as far as this zone here, right? That was the major zone where we are seeing this asset reacting, right? But I was just focused on getting a 1:2 risk to reward ratio on this setup. So we actually sold from this point up until to this point, right? And our intention, this, we actually missed out this setup. We actually missed out this setup, right? Because I was also expecting for this asset to actually come to this level, right? So that's why I ignored that sell in yes 100, right? So I wanted it to come exactly for this level, right? But it actually missed out because I had also set in alert there. So we actually missed out. When I came back to check this asset, it had already moved to the downside. So I just ignored it, and then we actually went and looked for other opportunities, right, on other assets, right? So this was exactly on Monday. So this is the setup that we had on Monday on US 100, right? And during the week, we didn't actually look for any another opportunity on this asset, right? And rather we were trading the US 30, right? We're trading the US 30 and gold, right? So these are the setups that we actually had on US 30, right? On Monday, right? We actually had a buy, right? We actually had a buy on US 30 on Monday, right? So if you are to go on the daily time frame, like what we did on Nasdaq, this is what I also had to observe, right, on this asset. So if we can see, you can definitely see that this asset, it has also been creating some sequence, high highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? And then we had to go below this structure, right? We had to go below this flow, right, on that um, sequence, right? And then we can see that this market pulled back again because it respected this demand, right? It respected this demand. It had to buy. It came back again for this supply here because we actually had an inefficiency. So this market actually came for that supply structure. It started selling, but on the daily time frame, the price action was not actually clear. So I had to go to 4-hour time frame and look at all actual possibilities, right, on this move. So this is what I saw, right, that this market was actually buying from um, it was actually buying from this support flow, right? So I was expecting this asset to actually take out these highs, right? I was expecting to take out these highs, so I had to mark my supply structure on the 1 hour time frame. I think that was 15 minutes time frame, right? So I was looking for an opportunity to buy this market from this point, right? So if we are to go on 1 hour time frame, right? If you are to go on 1 hour time frame, this is what I was actually looking at, right? This is what I was looking at on the 1 hour time frame. We can definitely see that I marked this lowest point, right? For any possibilities for this asset taking out this liquidity, right? But I observed that there was inefficiency here. So this is what I was actually paying attention to. I observed that there's inefficiency. While we're having inefficiency here, we are also having our demand structure marked from this point, right, going to that side. So you can definitely see that this, I was actually waiting for this asset to come and react around these confluences, right? I was actually expecting it to come and respect this confluence, right? And then pushes towards this demand that this supply that I actually marked on the 15-minute time frame, right? So that's why I was expecting to buy US 30. And this is what actually happened, right? On 15 minutes, this is what actually happened. This market actually bought as expected, right? So it came back for those structures that I actually marked on the 4 hour and 1 hour time frame, right? So this is where we took a buy entry exactly at this point, right? Around this inefficiency on 1 hour time frame, right? And then we bought up until to this supply, right? So this was the setup that we had on Monday, and this was actually a 1:3 risk to reward ratio, right? And then the following day on Tuesday, right, I observed that this market, since it has been buying, right, it has been creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? And then instead of it creating a higher low and then continuing going upwards, right, it had to break below this structure. So this structure was broken, this structure was broken, right? And since these structures were broken, right, I was expecting this asset to actually retrace to some certain valid points of interest, right? So if you are to look on 1 hour time frame, this is what I observed on 1 hour time frame, right? I observed that we actually had this whole huge candle, which was actually playing out as a supply, and I identified that there was inefficiency here, right? So I had to take an entry, right? Putting my stop loss above this highest point on this 1 hour candle, right? And then the entry exactly when the market comes and triggers this sell zone, sorry, this sell zone, right, where we are observing our supply candle, right? So I was expecting this market to come and trigger this sell zone, and then we take sales from this position, our stop loss above that area, right? So if you are to go on 15 minutes time frame, you can definitely see that this is where we actually got an inspiration for our setup, right, on 1 hour time frame, right? And then in balance, right, our inefficiency here, right? And I actually marked this whole candle as a supply on 15 minutes. So I wanted to see a reaction here. So our entry was here, and then our stop loss was actually above this highest candle, right? This highest point on the 1 hour candle, right? That is after our huge supply candle, right? So this was also another good setup that we had on Tuesday, right? And we actually had sales, right? These were actually sales, and we had a 1:2.59 risk to reward ratio, right? And we were targeting these lows on this structure. So this played out well, and it was actually smooth, right? So this setup actually lasts us something like 1 hour, 30 minutes, right, on Tuesday, right? And then since the market has been giving us a sequence of sales, right, I was expecting to take sales, right? I was also expecting to take sales, but this actually happened out of my trading period, right? So we actually take setups on US 30 and US 100 around 3:30, 4:30 going onwards, right? So the thing is, this happened around 1:45 South African time, right? 1:45 in the afternoon South African time, right? So which means if this had played out while we are away, we could even have taken sales, right? But our intention now was to look at buys. Why were we actually looking for buys, right? If we can go on 4-hour time frame, right, we can definitely see that we're actually having more of rejections around this level, right? We have been having more of rejections right around this level and also around this level, right? So my intention was to see this market respecting this level, and then we can look for buys around those areas, right? So if you had to go on 1-hour time frame, this is what we're also looking at, right? Reaction with the reaction there. So this was our first reaction here. We also had another reaction here. So this was a strong support area. So you can see these reactions that we're actually having around those zones, right? So I was expecting to see at least this market respecting this zone, and then if it respects this zone, I'll be looking for my buys, right, to to that supply zone up there, right, to this supply zone up here, right? So if you can go on 15 minutes time frame, this is what we are actually seeing on the 15 minutes time frame, right? So you can definitely see that those points that I was actually marking now, right? I wanted to see a strong rejection around this area. Then I can look for what? I can look for buys. So this what made us to look for entries at this point, right? So the reason for entries there, it was actually on 5 minutes, right? The reason why we wanted an entry here, right? I could have taken imminent entries down here, right? But I wanted something that had a strong confirmation looking above this level that I had marked, right? So we had to take entries exactly at this point. So you can definitely see that this market, when it was selling, it had to come above that level again, right? And there was no strong confirmation given at the point where I wanted to come back for this demand structure, right? I could have taken it at this point and put my stop loss down there, right? But I wanted something that was stronger, right? I wanted a stronger confirmation that the market is now pushing to the upside, right? So when the market started pushing to the upside, I had to go on 1 minute time frame. I had to go on 1 minute time frame and find a suitable entry, right? So this is what happened on 1 minute time frame, right? So this is what happened on 1 minute time frame. This market actually pushed above this level. It came back. We had another, so this was more like a triple rejection on this structure, and then I had to mark this level. I wanted this asset to break above, retest, right, this candle upon this inefficiency, and then take buys here, right? But the way it was moving, it was not actually convincing. So I had to let it respect this, right? And then when it was going now towards that direction, I had to take my entries exactly at this level, right? When I observed that we actually had a bullish candle that had higher volume than this previous one, and then another candle that locked above this structure, and then I had to go in when this candle was moving now, right? So we had to take an entry at this position, right, expecting this market to push as far as the supply structure that I had highlighted up there, right? But the thing is, when the market was pushing, right, when the market was pushing, I observed that this asset was actually struggling to give good momentum to the upside, right? So we had to book all positions exactly at this point, right? So this setup actually turned to be a 1:2.23 risk to reward ratio, right? So this was the setup that we actually had on what? on Wednesday, right? This is the setup that we had on Wednesday, right? This is the setup that we actually had on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we didn't have any setup, which is yesterday on this asset, right? So these were the setups that we actually had within this week. So if we are to look at the setups that we actually had within this week, we had a win on Monday, we had a win on Tuesday, we had a win on Wednesday, right? And then Thursday, yesterday, we didn't actually have a trade on this asset. All right, and today we are not trading, right? Which is the 10th of January, right? Which is the 10th of January, right? But yesterday, right? Yesterday on Thursday, right? We could have actually looked for an opportunity, right? We could have looked for an opportunity here, right? So our entry is either around 3:30 or around 4:30, right? Around 4:30. And the thing is, yesterday the market actually closed exactly at 4 o'clock, right? It actually closed around 4 o'clock. So we didn't even get any setup, right? So today we are not trading. We're not actually trading today on a Friday. I have some reasons why we are not trading with the community today. Um, so there's nothing for us today. We are actually not trading for today. So I'm not gonna say those reasons, but I just told my community that today it's a holiday and we are not trading with the community, right? And let's go to gold. Let's go and look at gold, right? Let's go and look at gold and look at all the setups that we actually had within this week, right? So we actually had 3 wins and a break even, right? So I'm just gonna explain why I was actually looking for those biases, right? Why I was actually looking for those biases, right? So if we are to look at this structure, right? If you are to look at this structure, let me just go on 15 minutes time frame and just highlight Monday there. Then we go to our daily time frame, right? So Monday, right? Exactly. That's Monday, right? So if you go to daily time frame, this is what we are seeing on the daily time frame, right? This is what we are seeing on the daily time frame, right? So this market is actually bullish because looking at this sequence, we can definitely see that this market, right? This is the point where we see a lower low. We actually see a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, right? And now we are actually creating a higher high, right? And this is the reason why we're looking at buys yesterday. We're expecting this market to actually push, right? Coming to the point that I actually marked on the medium time frame, right? So the thing is, the sale that we actually had on Monday, it was because this market was actually selling at this point. We're coming from a higher high and we're expecting to create what? A higher low, right? So we're selling because this market was within a selling motion. So we're looking at this market coming for a certain zone there, right? So this was the zone that was actually highlighted, right? So if we go on the 4-hour time frame, this is what we actually seeing on the 4-hour time frame, right? We can definitely see that this asset on the 4-hour time frame, it was actually selling, right? It was actually selling. It was within the selling motion, right? And this is what I also observed, right? We actually had a demand structure here, right? We had a demand structure and we also had inefficiency, right? Also had inefficiency there. So I was expecting this market to actually come and fill this inefficiency, trigger this demand structure, and then continue with buys, right? So if you had to go on 1-hour time frame, this is what we are actually looking at, right? This is what we're actually looking at. So the reason for me looking for sales, the reason for me looking for sells is because I have observed that we also have a sell or a bearish sequence here, right? Where we had a higher high, a lower low, right? And then, sorry, this was actually a higher low, right? And then we had a lower high, right? We had a lower low, we had a lower high, lower low, lower high, right? So these were actually equal highs. And then, so I was expecting this market to actually take out, right? To take out this liquidity, right? And then sell going towards the demand structure, filling in the inefficiency, right? That we've identified on the daily in the 4 hour time frame, right? So that's why we had to take sales exactly at this point, right? To this point, right? On 15 minutes time frame, right? So this is what we're actually looking at on the 15 minutes time frame. So this is what we're actually looking at. So I wanted this asset to actually take out this high, right? Take out this high, because since we have been selling, we can definitely see that this market from this point, right? It retested, right? This structure retested the inefficiency, started selling at this point, right? And then this was not actually cleaned, right? And then there was actually another retest again, right? And then it dropped to the downside, right? So this move, there was actually a possibility for this asset coming to this level, right? Taking out this liquidity and then going to the downside, because I identified that there was inefficiency, but this inefficiency was actually tricky, right? On 15 minutes, this is usually closed up and up until we grab liquidity up there, right? Up until we grab liquidity up there. So I had to see this market push towards this sell zone, right? And then what I was waiting for, I was waiting for this asset to actually give us a, a bearish candle, right? That yes, some good volume, right, to the downside, right, respecting this zone, right? So our entry was actually on the second candle. When this candle closed, right, on the second candle open, I actually had to take this position here, right? And then our stop loss above this point, right? And then we're actually looking at a risk to reward ratio of 1 is to 3.49, right? And if you can see what happened here, the market started getting into a drawdown, coming towards our stop loss, right? But it didn't actually trigger our stop loss. And then all of a sudden, the market started pushing to the downside, right? And then it actually hit our take profit, right? So my target was, at least at this point, I was not looking at holding this position up until it comes to that demand structure, right? So I was just looking at a 1 is to 3, so I had to extend it to this point. So this was our setup, right, on Monday, and it was actually a win, and this was actually a good setup. So if you can look at those trade histories, right, that I showed you, you can definitely see that we actually took positions, right, where I'm saying we took positions and we held up until it actually hit our take profit, right? We were booking partials, but we overall held up until to this point, right? And then on Tuesday, this is what I also observed, right? I observed that since we have come to the demand zone, right? We respected the demand, right? On the chart that I did send within the community, right? I also highlighted this as a buy zone, right? We could have also taken positions here, right? But I was busy at that time, and the community members, they're only waiting for their mentor to give an instruction that we are now buying from this, because I had highlighted this demand, and also this was also a golden zone to take entries from, right? So if you can go to Discord and go to the community server where we share the setups for currencies, metals, and indices, right? This is what I want to show you, right, on gold, right? So you can definitely see this was actually marked as a golden, right, a daily golden zone, right, in the buy zone. So if you can see, I did send this in the morning, and told these guys that this asset also came for what? It also came for our demand zone, right? And then this was also a good area to buy and continue with this market as it goes up, right? So if you can see, if we are to go back to the chart, you can definitely see that this was also marked as what? As a buy zone, right? This was actually marked as a buy zone. We wanted that asset to come for that buy zone. So this is before anything happened, right? This was our sell zone. This is where we're expecting this market to come and respect. Then we take our sales to these lows, right? We on the daily demand that was also respected, right? And we're also looking at this market selling as far as coming to this buy zone, our demand also on the 4-hour time frame, right? And so there was a strong confluence because we actually had a demand, right, on the day on the also we actually had a demand on the 4-hour time frame, and then also had our gold and our daily gold and so on. We were looking at buying, and there was a confluence because these zones were actually converging, right? So we're expecting to also be buying from those points. That's why I also highlighted to these guys that we have also came to this level, so you could have also taken buys from this point and held these buys as we go with the movement, right? And then this is the reason why we had to look for buys, right? The following day, because we had already creating a sequence for buys, we had to break structure, come back, retest the demand here, right? We retested the demand. We filled in the inefficiency, right? This was around 9 in the morning, right? We could have taken positions in the morning, but our lives, they actually start at 2 o'clock. So we only look for opportunities, right, from the market starting from 2 o'clock, right? So the market now, we're expecting the market to break now the structure and then give us a confirmation from this point for buys, right? So we actually took an entry, right, on 5 minutes time frame, right? We actually took an entry from 5 minutes time frame, right? This is where we actually considered taking buys, right? So the thing is, this is what happened. This was actually is a resistance zone, right? This was actually resistance zone. So since we did break above that resistance zone, I was expecting this market to retest, right? To retest on my EMA, right, after breaking the zone and then continue going upwards, right? And we're also targeting this other previous high, right? We're targeting this other previous high. So this is where we actually had to get a 1:2.28 risk to reward ratio, right? And from what I showed you within the saver for trade histories, we took these positions and it actually moved well as expected. It triggered our what? It triggered our take profits, right? So this is how we also got a buy setup, right, from these structures because we're still expecting the asset to buy from the golden zone, right, continuing going upwards, right? And then the following day, right, the following day, which is on Wednesday, right, we're expecting to see some sales when this asset, right, when this asset actually breaks below this structure, right? So since the market was moving, right? It didn't actually uh, push below this area, right? So since we're within the buy movements, right, we're still looking for an opportunity for buying, right? So here I had to come and identify the inefficiency, right? Inefficiency, mark the supply zone, right? And then I had to also mark this highest level, right? Looking for my possible buy setup there, right? So this is what happened here. I observed that we actually had to break above this, right, and came back for this demand, right? So I actually missed this. I could have taken buys at this point, right? I could have taken buys from this point, right? But what I had to do was to wait for the market give me a good composure, right? So from this point, the market started buying, right? It started buying. It actually did break this level, right? It did break this level. Right, it did break this level. And from this point, this was the candle that I was actually paying attention to, right? So I marked this as a point of interest because I had also identified right? I also had identified this imbalance, this inefficiency, right? This inefficiency. So I wanted this market to come and fuel this inefficiency, then take my buy positions from this point. And this is what actually happened, right? So there was actually news, I think around 3:15, right? 3:15, this market pushed to the upside, right? It pushed to the upside, and then later on it started coming back towards the point of interest. So we had entries here, and then we had to take our buys from this point, and then we had we were actually targeting these highs, and we're expecting something like a 1:2, right? And then I had to extend it to this supply zone, right? So we took buys from this point, and then the market pushed towards our target, and this was also a win. On Wednesday, we actually had a 1:2, 2.37 risk to reward ratio on this move, right? And then the following day now, since we were still expecting gold to keep on pushing to the upside, right? To keep on pushing to the upside, I actually expected to see the market creating some strong confirmations, right? We can definitely see that we dropped down, we came back, right? Consolidated for quite some time. There was a break of structure here, we consolidated, there was a break of structure here again, right? And then the market started pushing to the upside with a smaller break of structure right here, smaller consolidation and the break of structure here, right? And then I had to mark this as a demand because there was inefficiency between this candle and then this candle that opened here, right? And this market didn't actually come back for this point, right? So what I had to do, I had to monitor with the community up to the point where this market did break this level, right? And I had to mark this candle, right? I had to mark this candle as our demand structure, right? On that small structure there. So I had to mark this, right? So what we wanted this asset to come back, trigger this, and then we hold buys. So this is the trade that I had to break even because I had to attend this other workshop, right? I had to attend this other workshop. So we were live and we were waiting for the market to come back for this. It actually triggered this while we were live and while we were live streaming, right? We triggered this smaller demand here, and then the market started buying slowly, buying slowly, buying slowly, right? And our target was to book partials exactly here, right? So I insisted the members to actually hold their positions up until we come to this point and book partials, right? And then we had to break even around 1:1 risk to reward ratio. So what I did is when the market came to a 1:1 risk to reward ratio, I had to break even, right? To move to break even and let the market move. So I decided to hold these positions up until I hit my take profit there because I was busy attending something. I had this other workshop, right? So this is what happened now. The market had to reverse before it hit a 1:2 risk to reward ratio, right? It had to reverse and come back to these areas. This is how I had a break even, right? So I didn't confirm from the other community members if they had booked their positions here or if they had held back to a break even again, right? So this was our last trade within this week. So this is the market review on all the setups that we had within this week, on all the trades, the positions that we took within this week. So if you have sticked up until to the end of this video, thank you so much. I hope you have managed to learn something from all the trades that I have been revealing and the setups that I have been revealing within this video. Make sure to comment within the comment section and make sure to subscribe. Make sure that you are following our channel so that whenever we share another content, you can also be able to learn from that. Make sure you also like this video. Thank you so much. Also share with your friends and families, share with your communities if you can, so that they can also be able to learn and enhance their trading skills. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sticking up until